Chris Rock sat down for an interview with Frank Rich of New York Magazine, and he made a great point about race relations in America. He said, quote, "Here's the thing. When we talk about race relations in America or racial progress, it's all nonsense. There are no race relations. White people were crazy. Now they're not as crazy. To say that black people have made progress would be to say they deserve what happened to them before. It's not that African Americans have gotten better, it's that white people have gotten better about how they treat African Americans. So to say Obama is progress is saying that he's the first black person that is qualified to be president. That's not black progress. That's white progress. There's been black people qualified to be president for hundreds of years. If you saw Tina Turner and Ike having a lovely breakfast over there, would you say their relationships improved? Some people would, but a smart person would go, "Oh, he stopped punching her in the face." It's not up to her. Ike and Tina Turner's relationship has nothing to do with Tina Turner. Nothing. That's such a good point, it hurts. What he's saying is it's patronizing for white people to talk about race relations in America and go, well, things have gotten better. Black people have come a long way. His point is, no, motherfucker, black people always were where they should be, and white people have, over the years, become slowly more and more tolerant of black people. So in the 1950s, it's not like there was a race problem in the sense that the black people weren't doing a good job with something or anything in their lives. It's that the white people in the South were fucking crazy. And they were saying, no, we live under segregation, you're separate from us, we're going to call you the N-word every 27 seconds. And that was the situation that they lived under. A situation where white people were fucking crazy and treated black people like they're inferior, which is ironic because treating somebody like they're inferior means more that you're inferior through your actions, of course. So his point is so good it hurts, man. It's so good. It's such a good point. It's such a good point. And this also leads into a conversation like we briefly mentioned earlier about the idea of white privilege, how the problem is that, like with riots, for example, so the riots that happened in Ferguson, how white people will often look at that and go, typical. That's how they are. Now, meanwhile, what's behind the peaceful protesting there, which is a majority of it, the looting and the rioting in some circumstances? What's behind that? The thing that sparked it is genuine injustice. The feeling of a cop can just kill an unarmed black kid and get away with it. That's what sparked it. Now compare that to white riots. We covered them earlier here. In fact, I'll break out the story right now as I'm talking to you guys about it. There were white riots over baseball in 2004, 2007, and 2013. Others over hockey and other sports in 2012, 2011, 98. And then there was rioting when Joe Paterno got fired because he looked the other way when kids were getting fucked by Sandusky. There was a riot over a surfing competition and a riot over a pumpkin festival. Those are the recent white riots. So white people riot over that stuff, and what does the media say? Well, there's a few bad apples. Don't let us spoil the bunch. People going a little crazy. It's just kids. They're just kids doing whatever. But when there's black riots, for a better reason, mind you, and look, I don't condone riots under any circumstances. Let's be clear about that I think they're counterproductive. But you can still grade which ones make more sense than others. If you're rioting because you won a fucking baseball game, fuck you even more. But if you're rioting because you think there's a perceived injustice, well then, yeah, there's a better argument for that. But when white people do it, a few bad apples, don't let us spoil the bunch. When black people do it, typical. They're just violent in their nature, and they're all crazy. And it's a representative of the entire community, even though a majority of the people were peaceful protesters. It's that mentality. It's the mentality of the 2008 presidential race. How Sarah Palin's daughter could get knocked up by Levi Johnston, and Levi could talk about on his Facebook page how I'm a redneck motherfucker who just likes to drink beer and kick it and chill and shit. And people go, all American boy. Now imagine if one of Obama's daughters was dating a black kid who said on his Facebook or MySpace page at the time, yeah, I just like to chill and live the thug life and drink a 40 with my homies. Well, would white America have said, "Oh, all American boy"? They'd be, "Oh, thug gangster," but that's the culture. What do you expect? It's just black culture is inferior. These are the things that are so obvious and apparent about racism in America. And Chris Rock's point is, no, don't put it on black people like they somehow improved, because that implies that before something was wrong with them. There was nothing wrong with them from the beginning. The problem was with the white people, how they were 100% intolerant to begin with, and now they've become more tolerant, maybe 40%, 50% better. Some would argue more than that. But that's the issue. The issue is white acceptance of black people. Back then there was none, now there's some. But don't shift the burden and shift the onus onto black people, because it shouldn't be there to begin with. It's on white people and how they were fucking crazy before and how they're just getting slightly better now.